So I've been on this pre-retirement journey for about 9 months here on YouTube, and almost 900 subscribers, which is awesome. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts that I've learned, just a few things that I've learned among the many things. And I think some important ones. So I'm going to kind of hit the high spots and go from there. First off, there are a lot of rules in retirement and pre-retirement planning. A lot of rules to consider. There's the rule of 72, which a lot of people know, which is how long it takes to double your money based on the interest rate. You have the rule of 55, which pertains to when you're 55 and lose your job in that calendar year of your birthday, you can withdraw your funds from your 401k if needed. The rule of 114, new one I just learned, how long it takes your money to triple. From the same kind of math, you use the percentage that you're earning on that money and divide it into 114. They'll tell you the amount of years it takes to triple your money. And that matters. And I'm going to explain in a minute why it matters. And of course, there's another rule called the 144 rule, which has got something to do with the securities, the amount of money you can take as a married couple, and all those kinds of things. And there's a lot of rules. So find the ones that matter the most to you. The most important rules to me, number one, maximize your 401ks while you can, if you can, and do everything in your power to do that, and then pick good, solid investments. I don't think you can ever go wrong with the S&P 500. It has a historical average of 11%. If we all make 11% a year on our money, I think we're all doing pretty good. And by the way, that works out to be, using the rules, 6.5 years to double your money, 10 years to triple it, okay? So why that matters? Because if you only have a couple $100,000 in your 401k, but you can leave it sit for 10 years, for instance, and triple your money, your 200 just became 600 just because you didn't touch it. And that's without adding anything else in, and just using the historical average of the S&P 500 at 11%. So those kinds of information matters. If you have 10 years before you retire and you can't do anything else with your money except let it sit and ride, guess what? You're probably going to do okay. So, something to consider. The other rules I think that are important is you're allowed to do 20% in your 401ks in most companies. I think legally, I'm not here to spout the law, nor am I expert in any of these things, or am I giving you financial advice. These are just my opinions. My gosh, I get so many comments. Sorry, folks, I'm telling you it's my opinion. I'm not a financial planner by any means. I'm confused as well. I'm sharing what I learned. I'm trying to save you some Google search. If you need more information, see a financial planner or do your own Google search. A lot of great websites and resources out there. And I have a few great contributors to the channel. You know who you are. And I say thank you for sharing some information with the rest of us that many of us don't know. So I do appreciate it, and I try to share. I am trying to be authentic with what I know and what my skill sets are. And be very real about, I don't know these things. That's why I'm doing these videos and trying to share, because I have a feeling that most of us don't know these things. There's way too many situations and too many ways you can go wrong. So do your own research, do your due diligence. I'm merely sharing, okay? And we don't have to agree, and that's okay that we don't agree. If you have a better way, share it with the group. We'd all love to hear better ways. So contribute what you can to your 401k if you're still young enough to do so. One of the things I try to teach my son, who's working where I work now, is that, okay, you can't put in your 20%, but at least do the company match. And then every time you get a raise, up your amount. It automatically goes up because you're making more money. But if you increase your yearly contributions by the 3% raise we get every year on average, you know, you could start at 5 and then you'll be at 8 and then you'll be at 12. And once you hit 15, you can just let that ride. You don't have to do 20%. 20% is more of a catch-up phase for a lot of us. But even Dave Ramsey and some of the other greats in this field say 15% is plenty if you do it long enough and consistent. So do 15%. When you get to that, then you can work on different situations. Number 2, know your budget, know your income sources, and figure out how long they're going to last if you have any plan to retire at all. Okay? Saying you have a $500,000 in the bank or $1 million in the bank means junk to the rest of us if you have a $500,000 a year spending habit, right? If you are gambling your money away or smoking it up in drugs or whatever, how much you have in the bank is irrelevant because you're going to burn through it, especially when you are bored and retired and need something to do. So having a $500,000 is great. What does it cost you a month to live? And what are your income sources to pay for that cost of living? If you're living on within those means, you can retire comfortably. Saving is a double-edged sword. And I say this because you'll never feel like you have enough saved, but you cannot work and save forever. Okay? At some point, you have to choose life. So take time, choose life, find what's going to work for you, and make your budget fall within those means. One or the other. Either reduce your spending or increase your income, or both if you can. And find a sweet spot where you can live the life you want to have in retirement and not feel like your pennies are pinched all the time. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. And nobody wants that now. We have enough problems with our money as it is, with inflation and the other things going on. You need to be secure in your spending and know exactly what it's going to cost you to live the life you want to live while you're retired. And if that means you have to work part-time, by golly, you better work part-time. I plan to, part-time or full-time, whatever the case may be, to make my life comfortable and enjoyable. As again, for those of you that are new, I'm retiring next year from my current job. I'm only going to be 60. I have a 30 and out program. I'm retiring because I'll hit my 30 years, maximizing my pension number. And that's when I'm going to retire from this current job and move to Florida, join my wife and the rest of my family. If you're not in that situation, and if I was not moving, I would continue to work because I'm only going to be 60. I'm a young guy. I'm in good health, and I plan to work long and hard for as long as I need to and want to. Okay, my last and final rule, number 3. I believe, personally, again, my opinion, one of the best and easiest things you can do to save money in retirement and for your retirement is to get healthy and stay healthy. The amount of money that it costs to see a doctor to fix problems that never really get fixed, to take drugs that never heal your issues, is enormous. Healthcare is one of the biggest expenses in our lives, far beyond what a home is, if you figure it out. I have seen information that says that the average retiree will spend $500,000 or more in retirement on healthcare. How can anybody possibly afford to do that? How can you fix that? Get healthier. Plain and simple. It's an easy thing to do for most of us. We've just been lazy. And I can tell you, going into retirement, if you don't have the habits now, you aren't going to suddenly develop the discipline and the willpower to do it. Just like with saving money. If you don't start saving now, even if it's just a little bit, to get into the discipline of saving money and being better with your money, you're never going to have it. Okay? Financial maturity, like being mature enough to know that you're not healthy, is a hard road to find too late. Okay? Save better now, get healthier now, have a better life when you retire. And a longer life, right? Longevity is linked to health. It's not linked to money. It doesn't matter how much you have in the bank. That just has no contributing factor to how long you'll live. Aside from, it may be able to afford you more health care if you need it for a longer period of time. Other than that, money is not the overriding principle that's going to give you longevity. Your health is. And being healthy and getting healthy is one of the most important things anybody can do for themselves and for their family. All right, enough of my ranting. Hope I didn't lollygag and go on and ramble too much for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Have a good one.